Next news is out of Karnataka, India. Couple with 2 children stoned to death for inter-caste marriage. Who will take care of their kids now? Ramesh Madar and Gangamma were married. Gangamma belonged to the Lambani community. In her family, she had left them years ago due to opposition of her family members for that marriage. And fearing backlash from the family, they moved away, but then they came back on November 6th and they were spotted by some other people from the Lambani community who attacked them and then later stoned them to death because they were a part of a different subcaste. And I think Shubham has more information about that.
Yeah, so, okay. First of all, to the Hindus who say, like, at least Hindus won't stone you to death, well, here's the case. And secondly, this is one of those cases where the discrimination is not against lower caste by the upper caste, but against lower caste by lower castes, because the man was a Dalit and the woman was from the Lambani community, which is considered as a lower caste,
but still in a
in
caste.
India.
Still a caste. So the
Yeah,
Dalit is outer
in
caste.
India, everyone has a caste. In India, everyone has to have a caste.
Even the people that are not Hindu?
Yeah, they'll either be other backward classes or general classes or something, but you'll have a class, a caste.
Caste. Okay. So wait, this is a Dalit. Dalit is the lowest of all lows, right? The caste system,
Yeah.
right? So this was
They're not even caste; they're outcasts.
Yeah, that's what I was like. So this is a marriage between an outcast and one of the lowest castes. But they're both are pretty much close to the very. One of them is at the very very bottom, and the other one is close to the very bottom, and they got married, right? Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so I mean, it's not actually as simple as that. In practical, in theory, what you read, the 5 castes, that's like not really very true in the practical sense, because there are thousands and thousands of subcastes and stuff. And this community, the Lambani community, it's not even native to the Karnataka region. It's actually from Afghanistan and Rajasthan. And they are like considered as different castes in different states. Okay, they're not the same thing in every state. So
just to be clear, how did they have? They already had 2 children, so they were married. These people were married for a while, but because
they were married for like 4 years, I think.
Okay, they were married for 4 years. They had 2 children. They had fled the village that they lived in because they knew the backlash. Because wow, this is so sad. So they were in love, and they basically said, you know, screw you to the social norms, and they loved each other, so they married each other, and they fled from the village. But they visited back, and people, when they found out that they're coming back, that's how they spot them, and they stoned both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, what happened to the children? The 2 children.
That's like the main question.
So
like,
oh my, this is so sad. So the 2 which family like the both side of the family started the stoning? Like, how did that happen?
No, the Lambani community, only the Lambani community people who spotted them, they stoned them.
It's so okay. So this is a group of people that they themselves have been discriminated against by the whole caste system, and yet, even though that they are a target of this whole caste nonsense, they are upholding it by oppressing people that are below them, even though they are not. They themselves are oppressed by this whole system.
That's what this religion, Hinduism, does to you.
And so what if people say, oh no, this is not Hinduism? What would you, I mean, this is so Hinduism. I don't know, if this is not Hinduism, then what is Hinduism? Like, this is the caste system. It doesn't get more Hinduism than this, right? But what do you say to people that say that this is not Hinduism?
Fuck you.
Yeah.
Right. This is completely Hinduism. I mean,
right.
Caste system, there's no existing religion which has the caste system right now.
Right.
It's only Hinduism. And it's only in India and Nepal. I mean, even Hindus living abroad, they're not really that shitty like the ones here in India.
This is so fucked up. so fucked up. I don't know if I've seen videos of public of stoning, and this is one of the worst way to go. And imagine being in love and people, there's a mob that is stoning you, and not
Being in love is, by the way, a taboo in most of the India, most of the country. Oh, you're in love. Oh, that's the taboo, almost a taboo.
but this is what is so screwed up. Imagine not just being stoned, not just being big rocks being thrown at you and you're being slowly killed, but while that's happening, you're watching the person that you love the most in this life, the person that you took a huge risk, you love them so much that you sacrificed everything. It took such a big sacrifice to be with them. You gave up your entire family, that person that you sacrificed to be with and to marry. You're watching them die as well. You're watching them suffer. And that is your last memory. The fact that you watching people killing them in front of you. And that is going through your mind. And imagine also not knowing what's going to happen to your two kids while all of this is happening to you. Imagine all of those thoughts going through your head. Imagine the rocks being thrown at you, the pain that you're suffering, the pain that you're suffering from watching your loved one being stolen, and the pain that you're suffering from knowing that you're leaving two kids behind. I have no idea what's going to happen to them, and those being your last memory. I mean, if that doesn't convince you that religion is evil, and this is being done by your own family to you. This is being done by the people that are supposed to love you. They are doing this to you. If that doesn't convince you that religion is evil, I don't know what does.
Okay, here's another thing. Like in India, many people will sympathize with this couple. They'll say, okay, they were not to be stoned to death and stuff, but for the most part, the majority of the mentality is like they were bad. The couple were bad because they left their family to fulfill their own wishes. That's how the Indian mentality is. If you leave your family to marry, to elope with the person you love, if you do anything you want to do without consulting your family members, your parents, then you are the villain. That's Indian mentality. And that's sad.
Is the practice of stoning, is this a new thing? Because I haven't seen this like this. When it comes to stoning, I mostly think about Abrahamic religions. I think Old Testament, and I also think the Quran. Where does this, like, I understand the caste, the taboo, like the caste system and the fact that they married out of caste, that's a Hinduism thing. But what about the stoning part?
If it comes to violence in Hinduism, it's either like in rural areas, it's either stoning or beating with sticks and stuff like that.
But
it's not really a very common thing, but it could be common in rural areas, and we might not be aware of that because not every news like this is covered. In some parts, they're not even covered in the news.
Right, but this like the caste system is based in Hindu scripture, right? But the stoning part is not based in Hindu scripture, right? Like,
well, it's the stoning, not exactly stoning, but there are parts like you can kill, you are allowed to kill, or you are allowed to beat people.
Beat, yeah. Like, it doesn't specify how, but
you can do it however you want.
Okay, all right. And we don't deny the fact that religions get influenced by each other, right? So we don't deny that, right? And cultures and toxic ideas, okay?
Atheists are under attack in many places. If they were Christians, their voices would be heard. If they were Jews, their voices would be heard. If they were Muslims, their voices would be heard. But they are atheists, and not many seem to be listening. Let's make it difficult for them to ignore us. We have built a global community, and now we are tearing down geographic, cultural, and language barriers so we can find each other and support each other. In the last decade, we have built the largest atheist community in the world. Now we're doing the same in other languages. With your help, we have started Atheist Republic in Persian and Arabic.
انضميت مؤخراً لأسرة Atheist Republic وحيصير عندي بودكاست باللغة العربية.
As we grow, we can dedicate more time, staff, and resources to start doing the same in Spanish, Portuguese, Malay, Bengali, Urdu, Hindi, and other languages. We are providing community, support, informative content, and amplifying the voices of those who need protection, especially in countries where people feel isolated simply for their lack of belief. We want to be there for them, and we are only getting started. Help us get there. Check in the description for ways you can support our projects.